What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. Ever since Russell T. Davies came back as the showrunner for Doctor Who, I know some people maybe had a small hope that he would somehow course correct from what Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, shout out Nerdotic, did to the series. But no, he came back, and it would be the equivalent, if you didn't know, of like a George Lucas coming back and doubling down on everything they did in the sequel trilogy, including in up to a transed Rose telling David Tennant, Doctor Who, that he would never understand something because he was a male presenting doctor. And it's only gotten worse and worse since then, up to and including Ncuti Gatwa and Russell T. Davies gaslighting, attacking all the fans, calling the same playbook that all the studios do right now, calling them racist and sexist and bigots, and telling us to touch grass, blah, blah, blah. And all the while continuing to admit, while trying to act like it's a good thing and getting rid of all the bigots, because apparently there's way more bigots than they thought, that their ratings are horrible and that it's being rejected, even though he tried to say that the ratings for the youth, which we definitely know they want, is good. No evidence to prove that so. And again, going around when they're not attacking the fans, preaching about how this is it. All Russell T. Davies is interested in is DEI and inclusion and representation. And he says it, even says, if you're not writing about this, what are you even doing? It was the last times he talked about this before we get to the actual meat of the subject today is when he told Deadline it was his job to push transgender and queer stories, saying, I know I was part of a rising tide of gay, lesbian, and other writers, all of us contributing to the soaps and chipping into primetime dramas, all of us slowly and then rapidly increasing the visibility of queer characters on screen. And I'm lucky that I was the one that burst through and got that on screen. Now, it's interesting that he mentions this because back in the day, whether because on purpose or not, or accident, it was done a lot more tastefully. It wasn't done with that mallet that they hit you with now. And to that end, and this is what he's talking about here, Doctor Who showrunner Russell T. Davies admits the topics he writes about are being a gay man or being a queer person, which is essentially what the main criticism stereotype is. If you are queer or trans or in that whole group, that's literally all you write or talk about. Ironically enough, Leslie Headland has been on record talking about it's a shame that that's a stereotype. And then, of course, with her acolyte, she did the same thing too. It's almost like they can't help themselves. But the real point of this is this article with Radio Times, and I want you to see just what a different reality, the cognitive dissonance that exists, that really just stunningly blind lack of social awareness. So here we go. Russell T. Davies says next project will be about how the world is becoming unsafe for LGBTQ people. And I want you to understand with peace and love that is 110% the fault of the LGBTQ community. And as let's get into his own words and we'll see. So Russell T. Davies may be very busy, blah, 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 blah. Let's get to where he says 10 years ago, or even when we did Queer as Folk 25 years ago, we were on the up. It was like, good times are here. Now they're absolutely not. That wave coming from America, where they're trying to have legislation banning drag queens, that's absolutely going to come here. And you know when that started, Russell? When you fucks decided to do drag queen story time hour for children in school. And because everyone was so batshit with the coof and the summer of love, they somehow let it slide right on through. And essentially, trans, drag, and men with autogonophilia went on a 10-year spree of regressing the very hard-fought progression for gay people. You got hijacked. And quite frankly, we should talk about that, the civil war in that LGBT, that the Q and the G don't exactly align with the T. When one group says we're born a certain way, and the other one goes, it's a spectrum, and it's whatever you feel, and there's no such thing as gender. Well, if there's no such thing as gender, then there should be, and you see where this goes. So there is a certain genocide, but it's not against trans people, it's against gay people that would just grow up. So in addition to getting rid of people that would just be gay and turning them into lifelong medical patients with trans ideology, you've also turned everyone off because you've hammered it home so much that, yeah, You took good times, natural progression, people being completely fine with you being gay to the point of people don't even want to hear it anymore. You introduce a gay character and they roll their eyes so hard as they change the channel. And that is no one to blame, not conservatives. It is no one to blame but yourself. You gayed too close to the sun, Icarus. We might have a labor government in the next couple of years, but that just means we'll have a very right-wing government after that. They're all waiting. They've started the conversation in this country about banning abortion. It's well, you guys also turned that into like a weird child sacrifice where you take glee in doing it. It started already amongst the right wing. So I think our rights are paper thin. The world, the right to kill your unborn babies really hampered upon. So I think our rights are paper thin. The world is becoming unsafe. So I will always keep writing about that. I will always keep writing about male gayness if people will have me. Oh, well, as long as you're writing about the male gayness, and that's fine. It's good to know where your loyalties lie. He continued, the world has changed. The world changes around you. So whatever I do next after Doctor Who, I hope it's about that. Absolutely, because we're in a very strange world right now. And I would add again, you are the reason the whole Don't Say Gay bill that was not the Don't Say Gay bill, it was the Parental Rights and Education Act that was actually like, don't talk about sexuality of any kind with children, like third grade or beyond. Now that's since gone upwards. I believe it's actually like 6th or 7th grade now. And again, you can thank your guys for that. You turned what was once gay pride and actually taking pride in being human and existing and not having to be I go to edge of forest, and you've turned it into essentially a porn show that you again take kids to and turn them into these weird little idols. It's disturbing, and that's a progressive saying it's disturbing. So again, to the Jillian Michaels and all that, when you've turned the traditional progressives off, when you've turned the people on your side off, I mean, again, you gave too close to the sun. So if you want to know why you went from a golden age to actively regressing your own movement, well, you can thank yourself and your community. Time to get your own people in check. Anyway, let me know what you think of this. Be sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And
well, bye.